Hey everyone, Sanji here. I'm here to give a quick overview of the new DLC character that just came out today, Jenny XJ9 Wakeman. Now, Jenny has a couple of interesting characteristics, and I'm going to try to quickly go over my first impressions of the character coming at it from a competitive standpoint. So first off, the character is, she's very heavy. If you were to hit her, you're going to see that she doesn't go very far. So you can see here, as I get hit by Garfield, definitely one of the more heavy characters in the game. Not as heavy as Reptar, but kind of shockingly heavy for her size. Makes sense because she's a robot. And also, I think you'll see that she's reasonably fast on the ground. She's not a particularly slow character for a heavyweight, and that's kind of nice to see. And let's get into her light attacks. I'm going to try to go in a little bit more depth than what we saw in the character showcase. So her jab can be canceled into her other moves. So you see I can do like jab 1 and down tilt. I can do like jab 1 and up tilt. And or even just finish the whole jab sequence. This is kind of interesting because you can also vary the timing of this move. So I'm going to go jab, and I can just sort of do these delayed jabs, and that works really well for inducing tech lockouts. You can see there I'm locking out Garfield by holding my set jab 2 for a little bit, and I also can just like continuously jab 1, which also has a similar effect. The other thing is that going into the down tilt can get you into a launcher, so you can use that to kind of start some combos here. Oh. Now let's go into the down tilt. One thing of note, look at the chip damage that this move does. It's the fact that it just keeps going is really helpful. And if you look at the hitbox itself is not that good, but it's really good for just continuing to go here. This is not plus or anything, so especially if they're yellow blocking, this is really fake. But in the heat of the moment, you might be able to catch an opponent off guard and get a little bit of chip damage before going into a grab or something. Other than that, if her down tilt happens to land, then you can pop them up into something else that you can combo into. So pop up into an up tilt or something, or maybe even at like higher percents on DI in, you might be even able to get a strong. Let's see. Probably not. But I think at certain percents, you're going to be able to get some good combos out of that. Her other tilt is this thing, which is her up tilt. It is massively disjointed. Look at just how big that disjoint is. You can get this out of a dash attack and go into some sort of combo of some sort. And also, I think it probably could be used as an anti-air. One thing of note, all of these moves that she has are pretty slow. Like her jab is let's see. Her jab is like 8 frames, I believe. Same thing with the down tilt, or up tilt. They're all on the slower side. So definitely has this kind of heavy character frame data on these light attacks. But it's all made better by the fact that this is a frame 3 move. Jenny's neutral air is a incredibly fast move. I think this is the fastest normal attack in the game. And it honestly combos really well. So you can kind of just throw this move out and just carry people across the stage. And also, it's so active. This move is active for like 17 frames or something. It's really good. And I think it's also the first instance of a sex kick in Nick. So if they hit here, they go farther out. But if I drop it on their head, they don't go as far. So if you catch it with the early frames, then you can get a different sort of trajectory. Just be a little careful when using this move off stage, because it is active long enough that you'll fall a bit farther than you expect. But especially on stage when fast falled, this move just combos so well. I think it's one of the best. It's definitely one of the better neutral airs in the game, maybe one of the best. It's not particularly disjointed. You can see that it does have a little bit of disjoint on that kick, but it's not that much. Going into some of her other aerials, you can see this is her down tilt, or her down air. Her down air is it's active for as long as you hold it. You can release it early, but it doesn't have a particularly big hitbox. And you can do some kind of interesting tech lockout stuff if you just drop it on the opponent. If you continue to hold it into the ground, you get a landing hitbox. So you can use that to probably start some things, but I'm not seeing this move being used all that often, I think. It's possible there's some, character just came out, so it's possible there's some stuff that I haven't seen yet. There probably is, but I don't immediately see too much with this move. Okay, her best aerial is probably her up air. Look at this thing. It is so good at comboing. I think at a pretty wide amount of percentage ranges, you're going to be able to just bop the opponent if they're above you. Kind of reminds me of like what you see with Garfield's up air, or with like a SpongeBob up air. Like, it's really good. This is like probably one of the best up airs in the game. And it's also got this kind of interesting characteristic where you can hold it and get a parasol effect. And that can be also, like, you can like turn it on and off like that. And it gets a hitbox when you do that. So you don't get a hitbox when you're just doing this floaty parasol thing, but you are getting the hitbox if you release it and mash the button. Again, I think that the parasol effect is kind of interesting. Might be interesting for doing some stalling in air to avoid some stuff. Probably not that. Maybe you could use it to get a lot of more horizontal recovery, but honestly, with her up special, that probably isn't going to be too necessary. But I think you could probably do some cool stuff with the opening and closing hitbox. It's not a particularly strong hitbox. If I can actually land it. Yeah, you can see like it's a pretty weak hitbox. I don't think you're going to be able to do too much out of maybe getting a hit here and there out of it, but there's probably some uses for that. But it's really cool that they added this. Definitely unique for the character. Okay, I'm going to quickly go over the strong attacks here. For grounded neutral strong, it hits twice. It's got a decent amount of power. It does a lot of damage if both hits connect. The hitbox is not particularly good there. Like, let's take a quick peek. It's pretty slow for a strong attack. You can see the hitbox doesn't even cover all of the fist. But I think this has some uses as a hard call out. You can't really get it. I don't think you can get it out of the light dash. I don't think you can kind of get it. Maybe that might depend on their DI. No, I think they're hitting the ground. Strong dash. Yeah, they hit too far in strong dash. So you're probably not going to get into this unless they fail a tech. Looks like Garfield had an opportunity to tech in there before that hits, but I guess you could use that as a really hard call out. The other more interesting grounded strong, I think, is her down strong, which is it's really big, and you can keep mashing the button to have Jenny just continue to throw out these hammers. It doesn't combo at a dash attack. You can't hit them if they fail to tech like that. But if you used to sit here at the ledge doing this, it's not going to work if they snap to ledge, but it is going to hit anyone that messes up their recovery a little bit. If they go a little bit too high, then I think you're going to see them get hit down at a really bad angle. Let's see if I can... Yeah, look at that angle. And that amount of knockback is pretty high for 0% on Garfield. So, I wonder if I can... Let's see if I can get the AI to jump into this. Yeah, look at that. If you hit them at any reasonable percentage with that move and they're off stage, they're just dead. And the hitbox is pretty big and disjointed. Looks like you can hit like her arm, but not the hammer. But I think that's going to be a really useful move. Also, I think if the enemy DIs it the right way, you can get a ton of hits off. It's not consistent. It's kind of like if they like, I'm not even sure exactly what they have to do, but I have seen this thing like mash someone like more than once. So I think it's possible to kind of get like a Peach down strong crouch cancel sort of a deal going with that move. And her ground up strong has a pretty nice hitbox. Look at that. It's only active for like 3 frames there, but this one comes out of the dash attack, so I guess if you want to get them off the top, you can use that. You're probably gonna have to you probably only want to go for that if you really know that you're gonna have like a confirm dash attack or something. It doesn't really look like it hits that far above her. Let's see. Yeah, like right there, I think it's like the peak. Yeah. So it's only going to hit really above her in front of her, but it's got a decent amount of power. Probably going to be a decent, reliable kill move. As for her other aerial strongs, the most interesting one is definitely this neutral strong in here. Jenny gets pushed back, and if you hold in, you can shorten the amount that she gets pushed back. If you hold nothing, you get like that. And if you hold out, you like go flying. Oops. Like you go flying like on some stages that it feels like that would be like half the stage, like on Jellyfish or something. And take a look at the hitbox on that. Like it stays active for like the whole time, like not the whole time, but like if you get movement going on that covers a lot of space. So you see there, like you have to be somewhat close to backwards into them, but it has a decent amount of power. That was from the center of Harmonic. If you hit them at the edge, they just kind of die. That move doesn't hit them that fast, but it has a ton of hits done. So even if they're not going that fast, you can see like that one, Garfield survives, able to jump out. But if I was a little closer to the ledge, even at 88, Garfield would have died. Okay. Her other aerial strong, she got this one. Her aerial up strong. It's kind of like her grounded one. Pretty standard aerial up strong, decently powerful, and you know, it's nothing particularly special, but I think it's just a solid, good, big aerial up strong. And the other aerial strong is your aerial down strong, which you can see here. It hits down pretty hard, so this works as a spike. And she gets a little bit of air stall when she pops it. And the hitbox is kind of generous for what it is. I think this is going to be your big hard call out off stage if you want to hit someone down into oblivion, because she doesn't have a down tilt or a down air that's able to do this, but her aerial down strong is really good at hitting people down across the stage. Honestly, even the power on ground is pretty high. Like I feel like I'm almost knocking Garfield off the top of Harmonic, just bopping into his head. Let me see how high you have to go for that. Yeah, like what was it, like? What does it kill at 115? Yeah, like even that's pretty early. This move has a lot of power. Especially if you catch them off stage, they're not gonna be living. Okay, so that's all of her normal attacks. I guess outside of her dash attacks, which looks pretty standard to me. The strong dash looked like it hit kind of far, but oh, it looks like it has some scaling hits done though, because if I hit Garfield at 0 with that and go into the strong, yeah, so like Garfield got out of that, but if I hit him here, it comboed. So that means that she definitely has hit stun scaling on her dash attacks. So her confirms are probably going to be a little different depending on the percent. You'll notice that at low percents, Garfield goes faster out of that dash attack, and less things are going to confirm. But at high percents, he like didn't go anywhere. Like at 999, he went straight up. That's just a quirk of how the game's hit stun system works. But in general, you can expect Garfield to go less far away from you, the higher his percentages. So I bet at at higher percents, you're going to find more kill confirms out of strong dash than you would at lower percents. Look at that. You got into it. Goes into the neutral ground strong if they're at like 88% on Garfield in this case. Okay, so next I want to quickly go over her special moves. Her neutral special, you can send out this projectile which you can control, which is really cool. If I can push Garfield out, let's see if I can. Yeah, like you can see that like it follows my controller inputs, and I think this move has a lot of potential. Like I can block and continue moving this thing around. If I'm off stage and I'm recovering, I can probably still move it around. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to maneuver both myself and the projectile if I'm off stage, but that could have some cool uses. And also, I think it's going to be really useful when someone's off stage to just kind of fire this at them and mess up their recovery. So I think this can get you at a disadvantage. You can do this while you're in advantage to continue to press your advantage. You can use this to generate plus flames on block. All that is going to be really cool. I don't think we're going to see the full potential of that move for a while. It's going to take people some time to get used to this. This is like a Snake Nikita, except you can use it, you can move it while being actionable. And I think that's going to open the doors for a lot of really cool stuff. Okay. Jenny's down special is this Laser Eyes move. If it hits him on ground, it goes like that. It does a ton of damage if you can hit it. Hitbox is pretty solid. And it has an aerial version too. So if I can get Garfield jumping, I can show that I can shoot it in air, and I can get this like the laser itself on the way down does some damage. Doesn't have any hit stun though, so don't rely on that. But if the opponent is also grounded, you can fire that. And look how far away this hits at long distance. That's really far and a lot of space. So I bet if Garfield was blocking, let's see if I can put up here. How much block push do I get? Okay, so it doesn't have much block push though, so you're not going to be able to use that to push them to the ledge, but you're going to be able to hit someone from pretty far away with this. I think it's going to be interesting for racking up damage. It's not going to make or break her, but it does a lot of damage if you actually land the hit. Like that was from like 88 to 104, 88 to what was it, 112, or this move hits really hard if you can land multiple hits. So I think that's going to be a good tool in her kit to rack up some additional damage. But luckily, since it doesn't have any hit stun, you're not going to use this as an edge guard, because that is the most terrifying edge guard in the world. I'm really happy the devs didn't give it hit stun. And her up special, no hitbox, but she can move very quickly and kind of recover from like just about anywhere. And even if she doesn't latch to the ledge, she can like dodge stuff and return the stage. If someone's like guarding the ledge, you can just decide, oh, I'm just gonna go high. This is a really versatile recovery. It kind of reminds me of a faster April recovery that can't be canceled. I think overall it's really solid. With how fast it moves and how much ground it covers, I think you can do a lot of recovery mix-ups. If it doesn't quite have the range to be able to do like gigantic loop shenanigans to get around someone who's trying to edge guard you, but I think it's going to really disrupt someone, especially if they're off stage. If someone's like trying to quickly, you know, do a standard like, oh, let me air dash off and like get a down air on you, then you probably can outmaneuver them by just like looping around them and taking a more circuitous route back to stage. again, that's the move that I think we're gonna see people who main this character find some really creative routes with, and I think it's gonna make her recovery honestly really solid. And the last thing I didn't talk about is she has a tether grab. This thing looks crazy. The fact that she can grab from that far away, I think means that she can punish landings that, like, even if she isn't like ready to dash attack someone on landing, she can just be like close enough and grab them and you know, go into typical grab shenanigans. Like on forward throw, DIN, she can at home. Maybe she needs some higher percent. Yeah, she can get into some kill confirms. So like if you know that they are you know, they're landing, you can just I don't know why they flew so high there. Oh, I wonder if they buffered like some sort of jump there. But yeah, you can punish landings with this really hard, and I think that you're going to be able to, in general, just, you know, apply block pressure from pretty far away, which is really unique. All really cool stuff. I think this also acts as a way to grab ledge. Yeah, you can kind of tether grab to ledge. It's a little finicky, but if you're like lined up with the ledge, it works. I don't see that having any. I don't think it's going to get used too much with the way recoveries in this game work. But hey, you know, that's another recovery mix-up. Actually, that goes from kind of far away. That could be a really good recovery mix-up, actually. There's so many cool mechanics on this character. So, when you start to put this all together, I think we have a character that has a really solid combo game with this neutral air, with the up air. Like that, like every time they hear that clank sound, that was a true combo. To be fair, that was on no DI, but even on DI out, it's not going to work as well. But she has hit stun scaling, so even though stuff may not work at low percents, you can at higher percents they might still work. Like on DI out, like look at that, you can kind of you can get a lot of carry across the stage on people. Yeah, that, like even on DI out, that up air, the hitbox is so generous, and it overall is just really good. Like I think even on like proper DI, you're gonna be able to get a couple hits off on people, particularly if they're a heavier character that falls in a funny way, like the Turtles or Reptar or something. Yeah, I think they're gonna be combo food for Jenny. And yeah, I think that roughly covers it for this first impressions. I think that Jenny looks like a really good character. Her combo game looks really solid. Her heavy weight is going to make a big difference, especially with how disadvantage has changed. Her heavier weight's going to make her live a lot longer against a lot of characters, and I think it's going to be more of an advantage than a disadvantage. She doesn't have like a big hurt box like Nigel or Reptar, so even though she's heavy, I don't think she's going to get comboed as hard. I bet Garfield still probably can do a number on her, but with like up air chains. But in general, I think she's going to be really solid on that front. Not comboed as easily. Really big disjoints. Really cool moves that I don't think we're going to fully see utilized fully until people have more time on this character. But like, that move is so cool. And if you can fast fall it too, and it's such a cool movement option. I think it's going to be really awesome to see people put this stuff together. And yeah, I think that just about does it. I don't know about you all, but I definitely Frame 1 purchased the fighter pack for the game. I'm really looking forward to all of the new characters, and yeah, I hope to do more of these. I'm gonna try to have some more videos up for Jenny today, try to get some high-level matches in, and let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to from this character. I think that there's a lot of very cool potential things that you can do with this character, and if you notice anything, or if you have just any early ideas, like just drop it down in the comments, and maybe we can test that out. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good day.